All right, welcome back to what I hope are good choices. So, mic check 1 2 1 2. It looks good. Um, we're gonna go ahead on this LPIC exam. My jaw has been picked up off the floor. We learned about really awesome things. I mean, let's go back over that again quick. So what we learned about is screen, and now I have used screen before. What I've primarily used screen for was having so detaching sessions. So for example, if I were to do um, like sleep 60. I would use screen because I wasn't aware that you can have something run in the background. So you can just do sleep 60 ampersand. And now, it's just running in the background and you don't have to worry about it. And then you can do like jobs. And then you can do kill %1. So I didn't know all of that. So to accomplish those same ends, what I would do is I would do screen. I would then hit, yep, so now I'm in a new screen. Then I would do sleep 60. And then I would do -AD. And I would just do that, as if I were a parakeet, just repeating back something that was told to me. And it worked. If we do a screen dash list, there it is. It's the one from today. So now I can do a screen dash R. And there it is, it's still running. So this is what I used to use screen for. And let's stop the job. We're going to do jobs again. So here we got a stop job. So now we'll do kill on that job. And then we'll do a jobs. So now the job is terminated instead of stopped. So we do it one more time, and there we go, it's gone. So and then I would do Control A K. I knew how to do that as well. So I wasn't doing it where I would have screens just build up and build up and build up. But that's what I was using screens for before. Is just for the detach feature to keep something running. Because I didn't know of the much simpler way, which was to use the ampersand. And there's even other ways besides that. So what we learned about in the last video was much more sophisticated ways to use screen. So we learned about how I was using it with these detached sessions, but we learned more about what a detached session could be used for. A detached session could be used for handing off the work you did to somebody else, for sharing it with somebody else. A detached session could be used for things that are done in between reboots. So it'll persist between a reboot, and you can see scripts or whatever if they're working before and after a reboot. So if you wanted to see a script that said restart, if you did that in a detached screen, you would see the restart messages, and then you would see the boot up messages. So you know what? Let's go and do that. So we're gonna do screen. Oh, I don't want to boot up my lab. Let's do that in the GNS3 lab that I have. Okay, and then we'll let's not boot up the whole lab. Let's just boot up this automation server here. So we're gonna go start. There we go, and open that up. It might take a little bit of time. I just want to demo a few things about just how blown away my mind is and how dropped to the floor my job was for screen. Because screen is a replacement for some of the extra tools I've been using. Just learning how to use screen better means I don't have to use some external tools that I've been relying upon. So in the meantime, while that's coming up, I'm gonna demo I'm gonna review a few things about screen. So the most important thing I learned about screen is that there are three main aspects of screen. The first aspect of screen is a session. So these are all sessions here. or they're called sockets. So like a socket, but this is the thing that makes this hard to learn sometimes, is like the language is not consistent. So like there are screens on 6 sockets. So these are sockets. Sometimes they're called sessions. Sometimes they might be called like a connection. It's consistent language. Sometimes, naming is one of the biggest problems in computer science. It's hard to name things in a consistent, coherent way throughout time and history. So it's a socket. These are sockets. It says it very clearly right here. So that's the first thing to understand about screen, is that there exist sockets, sometimes otherwise known as sessions. The other thing to know about screen, if we were to do, let's resume some of these. So let's resume my favorite session. So screen-R. All right, so now we are in a socket of a screen. So that's the first thing we need to know. The other thing we need to know about screen is screen regions. So let's create a new screen region. We're going to do Control A, and we're going to do capital S. There we go. So now we have 2 screen regions. We can do Control A and then N to go to another screen region. Sorry. See, this is where it gets complicated. We accidentally switched to a new screen window, but we'll get to that in a bit. So go to the next screen region. You do Control A, Tab. And now you can see that my cursor moved down to this other screen region. Let's create a new screen region. So Control A, and then we'll use the pipe key. There we go. Now we've got 3 different screen regions inside of this screen socket. So let's switch to this one here. Control A, Tab. And now let's talk about the third thing you need to know about screen, and that is windows. So inside each of these regions, and be careful not to call them windows because you might be tempted to do that, but windows and regions are 2 different things, and you need to understand that in order to use screen properly and to its fullest. So the window is listed at the bottom of the screen region that you're inside of the screen socket. So if you're in so once you detach a screen socket, the regions don't persist, but the windows do. But you can always open the regions again. It's not a big deal. The windows are the things you want to persist. So what is a window? Well, a window is what you see in the region, and you can select your window doing Control A and space quote key for the double quotes. Now these are all your windows. So when you select a window, the window opens and is displayed on the screen region that exists inside of your screen socket. So, and then it's named down there. Now we can do a number of things with windows. We can create a new window, and we'll do that with a Control A, and then I think it was C. Yeah, so if we do a Control A C, now we created a 4th window. There we go. So now we have 4 windows instead of 3. So let's switch to the new window. You can name a window. So if you do screen dash T, now you can create a new window with a new title. So we're going to call it My Favorite Title. And then we'll do, and now we can see we are in that window, My Favorite Title, but we can go to any other window. So let's do a Control A W for window. And now we can see all the windows that we have, and we can see which one we're at with the asterisk. So there's 2 ways of seeing which window you're at. It's listed here, but sometimes as you're going around and doing crazy things and minimizing and maximizing and adjusting, that bottom part can fall out. It's like not perfect. It can get kind of glitchy sometimes. So just hit a Control A W and you'll see all the windows there, and then also a Control A double quote. If you do a single quote, that works as well, but then you have to type in the name of the window. You might not remember what it was. So this is my favorite. I like seeing all the options and selecting them. So we'll go back to my first window. And there we go. That's basically all you need to know about Screen to use it to the fullest. You need to know that there's 3 fundamental concepts in Screen. The first one is a screen socket, and you can detach a screen socket. So I'm going to hit Control A, then I'm going to hit D, and there we go. Now we are outside of a screen socket. If I do Control A, W to look at all my windows, oh, look. It just goes W on the prompt because I am no longer within a screen socket anymore. I am not running Screen on this instance of Bash. So you have to be within a screen socket in order to run Screen commands. So let's go back into let's create a new screen socket. So we're going to do Screen. And then enter. I'll hit enter again. And now we're in a new screen socket. So if we do Screen dash list, here's our new screen socket with the default name for a screen socket, which is the process ID of Screen, and then of this instance of Screen, and then the line you're using to connect to Screen, and then the host name of your machine. And then the most important thing is we can see that this is attached. So we are currently using this socket. We are attached to this socket. So that means we can do Control A, and then we can do commands. Control A is available because we are actually using Screen right now. So one thing to notice, Control A, where are all my windows from before? They're not there. Well, they're not there because I'm in a different socket. So I don't have the same windows that were available in this socket. Now, from a socket, can you go into other sockets? Yes, you can. There we go. So now I'm in a new socket from the other socket. Let's take a look at the windows I have in this socket. This one I only have one, so this is probably not the best. So let's detach this one. And let's go back to another one. Let's do this second session socket. All right, and then we'll do a screen. We'll do a WA or do a Control AW. And look, we've only got one on this one as well. So I'm looking for one where we've got multiple windows. I just want to prove that your windows persist when you go to different sockets. I might be proving the opposite. So yep, we can see now. Here's what's interesting. We can see that when I switched to this one, whoops. Oh, and I'm no longer Oh, I'm in a socket screen, so I'll do Control AW. Oh, wait, what? That's interesting. So it looks like I'm attached to a socket, but somehow I'm not in the socket that I'm attached to, which is kind of fascinating. Okay, so Screen isn't perfect. It's hard. There's more modern tools to use, but the fact remains that my jaw is dropped to the floor because I did not know that Screen had this number of features. What the hell? 23405. There's a screen on. No screen to be resumed. Matching 23405. What the hell? This is so weird. Why is there an attached screen that I'm not attached to? What the hell? Like, am I attached to this screen? But the thing is, I can't send it Control A. What the hell? All right. Well, let's try killing it. I mean, maybe I can detach it. Let's try that. Now we learned about a bunch of options where you do -D and then you do other things. So let's try. Okay, so now we detached it. So if we do screen -list, okay, now it's in a detached state. So now we can do a screen -R, and now we can resume it. So that's a good thing to note. I'm glad I did that because sometimes you will have a attached screen that you're not in, or sorry, an attached socket. Remember, those are different things that you're actually not in. So in order to get back into the socket, you have to put it into detached state first, but it's just really easy. You just do a -D on it. So now we're back. I'll do a Control-A-W, and now we can see my windows persisted, even though not only did I detach the screen, I was actually somehow detached the socket. I was also somehow exited from the socket at a point when it was attached. So the windows persist, the regions do not, and then the sockets only persist if you tell them explicitly to persist, which you can do with Control-A-D. All right, so yeah, I think that's a good review. We could review other things, like we could go into my lab and like review it with this and this. One thing I actually made a mistake here is this is not the lab this is not the lab I'm looking for. I'm looking for the lab that I'm using for this project. Oh yeah, which is here, the LPC Red Hat lab. Yeah. Actually want to use the I want to use Ubuntu for the LPIC. I mean, I don't know. They'll probably have used multiples, but anyway, the point remains that this is complete. So this is the next section. Yeah, that was just a quick review. Look back at my last video. I'm really proud of that because I think there's a lot of great content in that. Or just head over to learning.lpi.org and look at that LPIC-1 documentation, and you'll find this. It's free, it's out there, it's public. That's why I really love this exam. So the next section is copy and paste scroll back mode. So GNU Screen features a copy or scroll back mode. Once entered, you can move the cursor in the current window and through the contents of its history using the arrow keys. You can mark text and copy. You can mark text and then copy the text, copy it across windows. The steps to follow are, so the first step is you copy so you go into copy / scroll back mode. So this all works like Vi. If you ever use that, you know about switching modes. So the first step is to enter that mode. So let's pull up the lab and follow along. All right, so now we'll look at now the thing is we have to do this inside of a screen socket. So let's look at the screen sockets that we have. We have 6 screen sockets. Let's start a new one for this. So we're going to do screen-T, and we're going to say, call it definitely, hopefully I spelled that right, the best socket. There we go. Now we're in a socket. If we do a Control-W, okay, so this is great. So the name of the window actually is automatically the name of the socket. Let's leave the socket by doing Control-A-D, and then we'll do another screen-R. And there's the, oh wait, where's it? Wait, what? What happened to it? Oh, was this for oh, this was for creating a window. This was for naming the window, not the screen. So I was actually wrong when I said that when you create a socket. I was actually wrong when I said that when you create a socket, you can name the socket using -t. What actually happened is when you create a socket, you can automatically create a window as well and title the window with the -t. So that's why there's no socket here named this. The name of the socket was used with the default naming rules, and we can see, it's 57 now. This is actually the socket that we created. So let's get rid of that socket. So I think you're gonna do like a -k or something to kill a socket. Now, see, this is why it's so important to remember that there's 3 distinct parts of screen. There's a socket, there's a region, and there's a window. Especially if you don't understand the difference between a socket and a window, it's going to be pretty hard to use screen. Okay, so, oh, this is interesting. Multi-display mode. Okay, so we can execute a command as a screen command. So we can feed it a bash command. So let's feed it the command quit. So we're gonna do screen dash and then we'll I think we need to see, this is what I tried to do with the -t. I tried to name the socket, but instead I accidentally named the window. And when a socket starts, by default, it creates a window. And it creates a region as well. All right, so let me so I guess I could do a dash attached to so let's do a screen and then a dash x. And then oh, in the specified session. So we have to specify a session. And what do they mean by session? Do they mean socket? See, this is where the naming is really hard. So what if I do a screen dash list, or sorry, screen dash list, and then I do a screen dash r 27124 and then dash x quit. Okay, so that appeared to have worked. I think the dash R, you just temporarily resume it, and then right away you just issue a command and you don't even go into it. So we can see right now if I do Control A, W, I am not in a screen. I'm not in a screen socket, or a session as they call it. But I wish they would call it a socket because they call it a socket here. It makes it easier to understand. So what was I doing? Oh yeah, so now we're going on to the next aspect of screen, which is scroll back mode. So we'll create a new session, or socket, and we'll name the session, otherwise known as a socket. So we have to do this dash uppercase S, and then we'll call it my favorite socket. All right, and now we're going to take a look at the windows we have. So we have a default window here with a default name. Let's do this in a new window. I'm just feeling like this window, I don't know, I need a change of pace. I need a new window. So we'll do screen -T and give it a window name. We're going to say this is a better window. All right, and now we're automatically in that window. We can look at our old window out the window there, or yeah. And then not only that, let's do it in a new region. Okay, so now we're created the new region. Let's switch to the new region. Control A, tab, and now let's open a window in this new region. So Control A. Shift quote for the double quote, and you know what, let's do it. Let's reminisce about this old window and do everything out with the new, in with the old. We'll use the old window. All right, so now we need to enter scroll back mode. So that's Control A, and then no shift, just a bracket. So we're in copy mode. So then you move to the beginning of the piece of text you want to copy. We don't have anything, so we'll start here, and then mark the beginning of the text you want to copy with space. So we marked it with space. We see we copied 0. Move to the end of the piece of text you want to copy. Mark it with paste. Nothing there, and then go to the window of your choice, and then paste. So let's go to the window of our choice, which is here. And now let's do Control A, the other one. Okay, yeah, and we never copied anything. So let's try this again with a lot of text in the window. So we're going to Control A, tab to get to the other region. Now we're going to put all kinds of text in the window, just as much as we possibly can. We'll run some actual real commands. Yeah, there we go. And now we'll enter scroll back mode. So Control A, open bracket, square bracket. And now we'll use the arrow keys to go and select where we want. You know what? Let's just copy the output of this command here, this PS AWX. Let's just get the first few lines of that. So what we're going to do is use the arrow keys, as I have been doing. We're going to start it here so we can see that we issued the command, and then we're going to move the arrow keys down. We want the first 3, so move the arrow key back, move it all the way over to the edge. Let's see. Oh, and we can see it aborted because of a window key size change, and now I'm out of copy mode. So let's go back into copy mode, Control A, open bracket. Let's move the cursor to where we want the copying to start. All right, so we want the copying to start right here for this PS space AUX command. Then we just want the first few lines. So you can see it's kind of hard to get all of the previous line. Here's an easy way to do it. So you just you can just hit the down and the up. So just hit the down and the up, and then I don't know. But yep, so we hit the space to start. Now we're going to hit the space to stop copying text. There we go. And now we've got 314 characters into our buffer. Let's do a Control A tab to move to another region. And then let's do a Control a end bracket to paste in what we copied from our other window. Let's open a new file. We're going to call it nano my new file. And now let's paste in what we got from the other window. We're going to do Control A there, and there we go. We were even able to paste it into a text file. So really nice and easy. Love that. Mine is kind of blown in pieces on the floor with that as well. That's really useful. All right, so the next one is customization of the screen. I'll be back. I just need to take a quick break. All right, I'm back. It's time to keep going. Sound check, 1, 2. I'm kind of hot, but hopefully that's not too bad. I might go back and review these. I feel like being hotter is better than being too quiet, because you can always just take it. You can take it down easier than you can take it up, and if you take it up, then you're a sitting duck for being blasted by other things. So I'm gonna leave it hot. I think leaving it hot is better than having it be too quiet. All right, so for the next one, this is customization of screen. The system-wide configuration file for screen is etsy/screen.rc. Alternatively, a user level, which is probably better for your own individual customizations, home/.screen.rc can be used. The file includes 4 main configuration sessions. Let's go through the configuration sessions, and let's have some fun with this. Let's go through the configuration sessions in a new region of this socket. You know what? Let's use a whole different socket. So we're going to do screen-s. We're going to give the socket a name. It's going to be customized. There we go. So now we're in a new socket. Let's open a new region. Control A pipe key for a region over there. Let's let's stay in this region and create a new window. So we're gonna do screen-t. We're gonna call it my new window. All right. So now we're in this window. Let's switch back to the other one. So we'll do Control A N just to move over to the next one. Then we'll do Control A tab to move over to the next region. Then we'll do Control A double quote to pick the window we want. We want the new window. So now that we're here, let's look at the 4 main configuration sessions of the user screen configuration file. So that will be here, cat.screen.rc. No, wrong. What? Oh, I guess you couldn't use it. You can like create it and use it. So I think what you would do is you would do like copy screen RC to dot screen RC, and then you can have a local user one. Oh, they don't even have that. Oh, I misspelled it. Okay, so now we have so like this is one of those like privileged knowledge things where like you need to know that you can do this to do it. But once you know, then this is the proper way to do it. So I can't get back up through my scroll backer. I'm gonna do Control A and move it to copy mode, because in copy mode you can move the cursor back through your scroll back. And now let's look for the first section, which is screen settings. There we go. You see it right here. You can define general settings by specifying the directive followed by a space and value, as in defining the scroll back. So this is a big one. You want this scroll back to be basically as maxed out as you can get if you're working on like network gear, because otherwise you're just going to lose things that you did unless you have logging. And even if you do have logging set up, it's just sometimes annoying to go back through your logs. You just want it there and ready to go. So let's do that. Let's change the scroll back settings. So to do that, we need to edit the file. So we're going to do that using vi. Oh, and now remember, I'm in a screen session, so when I do Control A to try to skip to the beginning of the line, that's not what happens. So what I ended up doing when I did Control A, we'll do it again, and then hit A. I moved, yeah. So I'm not doing what I intend to do. So let's go back to the window. All right, and then we'll edit the file. Unfortunately, I have to arrow over, which is very annoying. All right, now let's move down to the buffer, which is in the screen settings section. So /. All right, so there we go. We can search for things in Vi by using a /. Vi, in my opinion, isn't that bad once you get used to it. Like if you're not used to using Vi, then you need a PhD in computer science just to exit the thing. But getting used to Vi is worth it because then you learn about changing modes in a program, which we were doing in screen. Like if you can get used to changing modes in Vi, then things like doing that in screen will be like pretty easy and intuitive. All right, so we changed it in my individual settings. So let's see what kind of effect that had. Let's do Control A and then the \. So and then we'll just scroll back and back and back and back and back. Now you'll notice that I didn't save the default before I did that. Shame on me. That's bad. I need to be doing that. It's not so bad in this case because you do have that system-wide file. All right, so let's see how many lines we can save to our clipboard. So it's not quite so bad because you can just copy it over from the system-wide file. But let's say that the system-wide file, okay, so yeah, we copied quite a few characters into our buffer. But let's say that the system-wide file was as it was. You're working, and all of a sudden, everything's all gone to hell in your personal settings because an administrator changed the system-wide file, and it's not how you like it. So if you were to have this private file copied to the system-wide file, your settings would change the same. So that's why it's not really a good idea to just rely on that system-wide file as your backup for when you change your settings, because that system-wide file could be changed at any time. And that's the good case scenario when a system administrator is doing it intentionally. What's more likely to happen is someone will do what we just tried to do here, but they won't back up the system-wide file. They'll change the system-wide file, and not only will they change it, they'll change it in a way with zero intention, zero intelligence behind their changes, and they'll just brick the whole system. So if that's the case, all your other users are going to be crying and complaining, and you're just going to be on your happy hairy way because your user file will take over. So while everyone else is crying and not able to use the system, you're fine because your user account is configured the way you want it. All right, and unfortunately, I'd love to revert that change, but we didn't save that backup file, so I cannot revert that change. So here it is right here. Where is it? Yeah, screen -rc right there. So let's go ahead and now I believe I'm still in buffer mode. I forget, how do you actually paste something in? Oh, right, of course. It's the next one. So there we go. Let's edit this again. And then we'll change this back to what it was. which I just happen to remember, thankfully. This is why I'm making such a point to just harp on this, not let this go, because you have to be making these backups. Otherwise, you're not going to remember what things were. And when you try to revert things back, you will not be able to do so. So this is how you make a backup. Dot defaults. Right. So you have to do the file you want to backup. So dot screen rc, and then the new name of the backup file. So if we do a ls-a now, and then we go into scroll back mode, now we can scroll back through all of this content, and we can see that we have a backup file now. So now let's change the settings, and if we want to revert them, we just copy over the current file with what we have in the defaults file. So you could even make more, you could do like a defaults, you could do like screen.rc version 1 settings, version 2, version 3, and you can revert through different versions of settings depending on what you need. So like one of the things you could do is probably customize your screen to make it so we'll learn more about that. Right now I just want to demonstrate what good habits look like. So here's screen.defaults. Now I can exit scroll back mode by typing exit, and I can just abort copying, or I can enter scroll back mode, copy mode again, also known as copy mode, and then I can hit a space, and I can put it in my buffer, and then I can do Control A, close bracket to paste it on the screen. All right, so the next part of the file, which we will take a look at, let's modify that file again. So we're going to change the scroll back buffer to 999, and then we're going to save it and quit. Okay, and now we got the backups, so we can even do a diff against it, screen.rc against that screen rc dot defaults. There we go. We can see the change here. We changed this to 999 from 1024. Clear that up, make that nice and clean. Then we'll do a cat on the file we've got. So screen rc, not on the backup file, not on the system-wide file. And then we'll go into scroll back mode and look for, Control A. There we go. Now we're in scroll back mode, and we'll look for the next section. Now, if you use not just the screen and you use something like Vi, you can just search through here, which is probably a better way to do it, but I want to keep with the theme of what we're learning. So the next section is screen key bindings. So here we are. I'm going to copy it like that. Screen key bindings. Then I hit that, and unfortunately I exit scroll back mode doing that. Let's open it in Vi. It's just going to be a way easier way to interact with the file. There we go. So now we see we highlight it just through finding the file. We hit enter and our cursor's right there. So using Vi is a better way of reading files. Okay, so this section is quite interesting as it allows you to redefine key bindings that perhaps interfere with your everyday use of the terminal. Perfect. Use the keyword bind followed by a space, the character to use after the command prefix, another space, and the command, as in, so bind L to kill. This setting will change the default way of killing a window to Control A L. So be careful in doing this because you got to remember your key bindings. This is where it's really important to not only not use the system-wide file, because you'll change that for everyone on the system. Do not do that, please. Anyone watching this, let's stop. Let's take a minute. Let's take a deep breath. All right, and now let's get out of whatever you have and take a blood pact never to modify this system-wide file unless you're doing that intentionally. If you want to modify this file, please copy it to your user path, create a backup of it, please, I'm begging you, please, and then modify the live version, not the backup version. And if you want to revert your changes, then copy the backup version to the live version. So we got that. Everyone got a pentagram in blood on their desk. We're agreeing to that. Okay, great. Now we can move on. Okay, so use the keyword there. So there we go. To display all the keys bindings, all the screen's bindings, type Control A, and then Shift / for the question mark. So it's Control A and then the question mark, which you need to access through Shift. Or consult the manual page. So here's all the bindings by default, but we can redefine these. Maybe create new ones. I don't know if we can create new ones. I'm not sure if we can create new ones, but this is nice because we can see what's there. VBell, that's kind of cool. Let me try that. So I'm going to try ringing a bell. So I'm going to do Control A, and then the caret symbol, and then a capital G. Oh, you know what? I'm in Vi right now. Well, you know what? Yeah, it doesn't matter that I'm in Vi because I can still talk to screen no matter what I'm doing in the window. That, and regardless of what region the window is in, and regardless of what socket I'm in. So that's interesting. Okay. All right, so tip, of course, you can also change the command prefix itself. For example, to go from Control A to Control B, just add this line. So escape, caret, B. Okay, that's kind of an interesting syntax because this, oh, you know what? So this is typically the control character. So I think what we needed to do is Control A, then Control Shift G. Yeah, switched to audible bell. So I don't know what that means. I think it means that we switched to an audible bell, but I don't hear a bell ringing. So you know what? Let's try to get rid of that because I don't want a annoying bell ringing in my ears. So now we're to a visual bell. Let's see if we have any more options than that. Control A, Control Shift G. Okay, so those are the only two options. Let's use the visual because I don't want my ears blown out. All right, visual bell. So moving on, and we'll just look through this file first a little bit. Okay, so we've got this is the so the next section is going to be the terminal settings. So terminal. Yep, there we go. So then the section before it was hopefully, yeah, the screen key bindings. So here's, so we can move some stupid, dangerous ones, and then we can make them better. So, yep. And if you have any macros or anything like that, you've probably got to update this. Like one thing that would be really cool is if we could redefine Control A to like Control S for screen. And then we can use the Control A to jump to the cursor. I'm gonna do that because I'm gonna change Control A to be Control S so that it will help me. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna yeah, so we're going to use this syntax here. We're going to type in escape. And then we're going to do, yeah, because Control S usually means to save a file. And we don't, that's doesn't work in Linux anyway. So we're going to do escape, and we're going to escape the, so this means control. Yep, and then we're going to do Control A, and then we're going to have that instead be S. Okay, so now when I do Control A W, it's all exactly the same. If I do Control SW, or if I do Control S space quote, okay, so we can see our binding did not work. That's too bad. Oh, you know why? It's because whenever we change a like a RC setting like that, you have to basically like reload the session, so you can just do like dot. Oh, and in here we have we're in the wrong wait, I'm confused. Something is going horribly wrong. Oh my god, this is bad. So something is like literally frozen up. Okay, I switched to a different mode. Alright, I can switch to copy mode, but I can't do much else. Yeah, something is going very, very badly wrong. It's like oh, okay, here we go. Oh, I see. No, I'm just stuck in this, so I want to do no. And now I do Control C. There we go. So that was the problem. So I think if I hit this dot, or like, or if I do dot, what the hell was that? I think I need to like let me ask the AI. That should help. I modified the configuration file to screen RC, but after I modified the file, nothing changed. Do I need to do something to implement the modifications I made to the file?
If you modified a configuration file in a Unix-like operating system, which might be relevant to your network automation or LPIC-1 goals, the changes typically won't take effect immediately.
Okay, so yeah, I've got to restart screen, I think.
Depending on what the configuration file is for, there are different ways to do this. For a system service, you might use.
Oh, I guess I could do
simply
this.
Reload the configuration without stopping the service.
Let me try this.
Environment configuration file like
so
Bash or Core.
Source.
DSHRC, you can apply the changes without restarting the shell by running.
Screen.
Can you specify which configuration file you modified? That will allow me to give you more targeted advice. And by the way, have you completed your 30 new Anki flashcards for today? Consistency is key for meeting your NCore and LPIC-1 goals.
Okay, that's weird. Let's do it in this one. So we're gonna do source.screen rc. Weird. Okay, that did not work. Okay, so then let's try sudo systemctl reload screen. Bash maybe? No. Bash RC. What if I do source.bashrc? And now I do Control A W. Okay. Well, I guess I don't know how to do that. Let me just print out the changes I made to the .screenrc file. That's weird. Oh, I missed a C. All right. And I'll do this in a I'll do this in a file editor. Okay, and then I'll do escape. Yeah. So here we go. So there we go. So I added this line. I added this line because I didn't want Control A to be the hotkey to send commands to screen. I often use Control A to jump my cursor to the beginning of the line, and it's annoying to not be able to do that anymore. I'd rather have Control S standing for screen, to be used to send commands to screen. Did I do this correctly? If not, then how can I implement my intentions? If so, then why is Control A still in effect and not Control S? What is the best way to implement my intentions, and what are the consequences of no longer having Control S available for anything else but screen?
B. Changes you made to the configuration file seem to be for new.
Oh, do I need a colon? I don't know why it has a colon there. Do I need the full path? Let me try that. Nope. What if I do it without a colon? Then I get all this crap. Let me kill this region. I forget how to kill a region. How do I kill a region? Oh, you can do capital X. There we go. All right, let me ask the AI why this is happening.
Source command is used for shell scripts, not screen configuration files. When you try to source tilde screen RC, you're asking the shell to execute the contents of the screen RC file as if they were shell commands.
Source, didn't it?
Because screen RC contains screen-specific commands, not shell commands, you're seeing these errors. They indicate that the shell doesn't recognize these commands. To reload the screen configuration, you have to be inside a screen session. Then, you can hit your control sequence by default controller and type source tilde screen RC. Here's how you do it step by step. Start a new screen session or attach to an existing one. Bash copy code screen R once inside screen, press your current control sequence, likely controller, to activate command mode. Then type source tilde screen RC and hit enter. This should reload your screen RC file within that screen session. Note that this will only affect new windows in the current session unless you exit and start a new screen session.
Oh, I didn't.
Regarding your goals, understanding how to correctly reload configurations is crucial in system administration and networking, especially since you're planning on mastering network automation. This skill will undoubtedly help you be more efficient in diagnosing and solving issues in a remote working environment. And speaking of daily habits, have you gone through your 30 Anki flashcards for today? Keeping up with that will be instrumental for your Encore exam in September. It looks like there's a misunderstanding. The source tilde screen RC command is meant to be run within a new screen session, not directly in the shell.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Start a new screen session if you haven't already. You can start a new one with bash copy code screen or resume and attach one with bash copy code screen.
Oh, it makes sense that you have a special character there that I wasn't expecting. So,
by default, this is controller.
Okay, so
now,
let's do control
source tilde screen RC and press enter.
And then
please note that this is done within a screen environment, not a regular shell terminal. Understanding the nuances between different environments and their commands is crucial, especially for your LPIC-1 and network automation goals. Errors like this often occur in the real world, and knowing how to troubleshoot them is an invaluable skill. Lastly, if you completed your 30 Anki flashcards for today, it's important to maintain a daily habit to achieve your certification goals.
That's right, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. Alright, well, I don't know how to get this to work. This, unfortunately, is not as slick and intuitive as the other ones. Why does that not work? I want to change CTRL plus A to plus S. So I added this to the green RC file. But wait, what? Oh, I don't think I did it right. Oh, okay. Well, now I can see it. Let me try that. So, cats control. Okay, so yeah, let's do it. Vi. Oops. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, well, it's still not. Well, now maybe we need to. Let's try it. It's frozen again. Nothing. All right. Well, I don't know how to do that. That is broken, apparently, or it's just really hard to do.
Your intention. To change the screen
And
command prefix
somehow
from Control
my
plus into Control plus S by
volume
adding
got
skip
turned
care
off.
V's to the
I'll turn it back on.
screen RC file is correct in principle, so you're on the right track. The issue likely lies in either the location of the screen RC file, conflicts with other key bindings, or simply not reloading the file properly. Steps to debug. Location of screen RC. Make sure you are editing the screen RC file in your home directory. You can confirm this with the ls command and look for screen RC. Syntax. Your syntax seems correct, but ensure there are no leading or trailing spaces on the line, and make sure there are no conflicting lines elsewhere in the screen RC file. Reload the config. To reload your configuration file within the screen session, you can follow the steps I mentioned earlier. Control followed by
Did that.
source tilde. Screen RC and press enter. Restart screen session. Sometimes, simply restarting the screen session may also work. You can detach from a session by pressing Control followed by D and then restart it using screen R. Check for key binding conflicts. Remember, Control S is traditionally used in Unix-like systems for flow control to pause the output to the terminal. This key might already be reserved, so make sure you're okay with overriding this functionality. Check for environment variables. Make sure there's no environment variable affecting screen behavior. Summary: the key to resolving issues like this often lies in rigorous debugging, especially for someone like you who's aiming to work in network automation and preparing for certifications like LPIC-1. These sorts of challenges are routine in those areas. By the way, did you manage to complete your 30 Anki flash?
That didn't work, so I don't know why I'm not able to modify that file. Not a big deal to me. Yeah, not a big deal to me. Let's just keep on plowing forward. Okay, so this was terminal screens. So this session includes strings related to terminal settings. This section includes settings related to terminal window sizes and buffers, amongst others, to enable non-blocking mode to better cope with unstable SSH connections. For example, the following configuration is used. So I want to hear more about non-blocking mode. So tell me more about non-blocking mode. So non-blocking mode, often referred to as non-blocking I/O or asynchronous I/O, is a concept used in programming and system design to handle input and output operations without blocking the entire process. In a traditional blocking I/O scenario, when a program makes an I/O request, like reading from or writing to a file or network socket, the process waits until the operation is completed before moving on to the next task. This can lead to inefficiencies and delays, especially when dealing with potentially slow or unreliable connections, like SSH connections in your case. In contrast, non-blocking mode allows a program to initiate an I/O operation and continue with its tasks without waiting for the operation to complete. The program periodically checks if the operation has finished, and if not, it can perform other tasks in the meantime. This approach is particularly useful when working with remote connections or other situations where waiting for I/O operations to complete could slow down the overall performance of the application. In the context of terminal settings and SSH connections, enabling non-blocking mode, as mentioned in the provided context, can help ensure that your terminal remains responsive even when the SSH connection experiences disruptions or delays. For example, if you're running a command over SSH and the connection becomes temporarily unstable, a non-blocking terminal will allow you to continue interacting with the terminal while the command's output is still being processed in the background. Okay, so yeah, it sounds like you definitely want to use that. All right, so startup screens. You can include commands to have various programs running on screen startup. For example, screen-t top. So here you create a window named T when you create this new socket. And screen will open a window named top with the output of top inside. All right, let's try that one. There we go. So we get the output of top. Perfect. So screen is terminating. Let's see if we created a new socket. Nope, we didn't even create a new socket for that. All right, so next section is tmux. Tmux was released in 2007, so it's pretty new. Although very similar to Screen, it includes a few notable differences. So it has the client server model. The server supplies a number of sessions, each of which may have a number of windows linked to it that can in turn be shared by various clients. It has interactive selection of sessions, windows, and clients via menus. It has the same window, so the same window can be linked to a number of sessions. Availability of both Vim and Emacs key layouts, which would be great. And then UTF-8 and 256 color terminal support. All right, so let's close all of these screen sessions. So we're going to do screen dash. I'm pretty sure we can close them all somehow. Oh, you know what? You know what would be fun? Let's try this. So this will be fun. So let's do pgrep screen. So there's all the process IDs. Now let's do this. Let's do oh, this is gonna be so much fun. So screen and then -R and it'll be pgrep like that. I think this is how to do it. I'm not sure. And then -X quit. Oh, let's try it with a P. That did not work. So I think we just created a new window with on a new socket, yeah, and then we just exited out of that. So that's not right. Oh man, this is so cool. Let's do this. Let's do pgrep screen. So now we'll take the output of this and we'll feed it into input to screen -R -X quit. No, that wasn't it. What about this? What about xargs? Then we're gonna say PID. Oh, it's so close. Oh, let's do this. This is so fun. Oh, this is so much fun. Oh. Is that not installed on there? So xargs and option and then command with initial args and more arguments to read from input. Okay. Command initial arguments. Oh, so here we go. So some command pipe xargs -s echo. Okay, I think we can do it like this. So let's do this. So the command we're gonna do is pgrep and then screen pipe xargs dash capital I and then screen dash R like that dash X quit. Wow. Oh my god. See this? See this? See this? This is amazing. I put everything I learned together, and instead of having to go through one by one and take forever, I just in one command quit out of all my screens. Isn't that amazing? That's what learning is all about. So I'm going to take a moment and do a golf clap for me. All right, and then move on to the next section. This is you know what? Before I do that, let's try tmux. Let's just see if that works. Oh, it does work. Okay. Let's do a Control A D in tmux. No, okay. All right. I don't know anything about tmux. All I know is it doesn't look as good as screen. It's not color. It doesn't have the same coloration. I like screen. I wish they were more. I wish they had more in-depth training in tmux. But looks quite a bit different. All right, so the next section is Windows. tmux can be invoked. Oh, no, they do have training in tmux. All right, here we go. So tmux can be invoked by simply typing tmux at the command prompt. It will be shown a shell prompt and a status bar at the bottom of the window. So, you know what? I feel like I feel like everything we learned about screen, especially with like tying it all together here, you know, that's just like a really good stopping point. So I'm gonna stop the video here, and then we're gonna continue on with learning about tmux, basically in its own series of videos, because I just want to capture what I have here. I think these last two videos have been pure gold for anyone who works on Linux systems, and it's just kind of being you know, a parakeet just doing whatever they were told and don't really understand any other ways of doing it. Screen is a really powerful tool if you know how to use it, and this video and the video before and then this learning material, I think, are really powerful ways to learn how to use screen. So I'm gonna stop it, and then when I come back, I'll have more videos that are dedicated specifically to tmux. So make sure I save my spot. There we go. So, yep, in this video, we learned all about screen. Then I ended the video by tying everything I learned in previous videos together using no assistance from the AI, no assistance from Googling, just everything I'll have, hopefully, when I take a LPIC exam. The help menu, the manual page, to pipe the output of the of all of the process IDs for my screen into the input of the screen command here, kind of like fstring in Python as if it were that. And then I was able to, in one command, close all my screen sockets. So tied it all together, finished up all of the learning materials about screen. So stay tuned for the next set of videos where we learn about tmux.